Um, I had goals, ever since I broke the leg, and through talking with my doctor, this was kind of my goal and what I had been planning the whole time. So as I worked through my rehab, this is what I had in mind, and I was able to do it.
So how healthy are you? I mean, we hear stories about you winning sprints with the team, all this stuff. Just how does it feel? Do you feel you can do everything?
I feel like if we had to play a game on Saturday, I feel like I could do it. I don't think that I would be nearly as explosive as I will be in about a month or two, but I think I could play at a high enough level to be successful. Right now, I think the balance is trying to find, is doing too much too early really worth it? And I think we've decided that we could have more of a setback than we could gain.
Do you credit any of that to Coach Wintrick?
My rehab has really been through Brett Mortensen, our PT guy. So I've worked really closely with Brett through my rehab, and the combination of Brett, Steve Pincock, our other trainer, and Coach Wintrick, because they've been in great communication and always knowing what's going on, that whole system has really been handled really well. So it can be attributed to all those guys.
Is the hardest thing holding yourself back because you do feel so good?
Yeah, for sure. And that's my mentality, right? I hate being out there watching the team go through stuff and not being able to do it. So when my doctor gave me a little bit of a green light, I probably did a little bit too much too early, and we had to kind of revisit it and say, let's back you down a little bit, and that's kind of where we're at now.
How's the chemistry between you and Mathews?
It's great. Mitch and I, we got here at the same time, got home from the mission at the same time, and we're good friends right from the beginning, and we really started throwing together ever since January of 2012. And so that chemistry, that connection, whatever you want to call it, has been really good, and through the injury, there's been no breakdown.
Talk about the offense as a whole. What are you seeing from the offense out there, and how are you guys different than what you were last spring or maybe even last season?
Yeah, I think we're more mature, right, in some positions, and I think offensively last year we were pretty good, and I think through the maturity that we'll have this year will allow us to continue the path that we were on last year and build. So my expectations and my hopes for this year is to continue to exceed, what we did last year, and moving forward that way. But I think we have some extremely explosive guys offensively, and through our offense and the way that we can utilize them, we're going to be tough to stop.
What are your goals this year personally? Are you changing anything to your approach, or what kind of Taysom Hill can we see this year?
Yeah, much of the same. I've been asked very similar questions, right? Like, what are you going to do to stay healthy and all those things? And as I've thought a lot about it, right? And I've had a lot of conversations with the coaches, and I think at the end of the day, I know me, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And I realize that there's a balance that, I'm more of a help to the team healthy than I am hurt. And so also trying to balance that and factor that in. But it's not an easy thing, and come game time, I'm going to do what it takes to win the football game.
Last year was all about modeling after, I believe it was Colin Kaepernick. Are you watching Kaepernick still, or is there another quarterback you're trying to watch, or are you just doing your thing? Or?
I watched those guys, from their game film last year. I haven't spent a lot of time watching them through the off season. I'm pretty comfortable with our offense and what we can do, and then trying to be my best self inside that offense. And there's some things that Colin does extremely well that I can learn from, and I'll continue to learn from. But there's things that Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, those guys do extremely well that I try to learn from as well.
You have Nick Kurtz on the outside.
Yeah.
They didn't have last year. What's it like having the Twin Towers back?
I love it. Those guys, our receiving core is extremely good, and I think if we can get some of these younger guys to come in and solidify some depth for us, I think, at least since I've been here, it'll probably be the strongest that I've ever had to play with. I think a guy like Mitch is one of the best in the country, and I honestly believe that, and I think he'll continue to show that. And I don't think Nick Kurtz is far behind him. So, thanks, guys.
Thank you.